What's up, you money makers and Mullen investors? Welcome back to this channel. I want to talk about the big week coming up for Mullen next week. On August 3rd, we are going to hear a lot more from Mullen because of the shareholder meeting. So if you haven't booked your calendar, I want you to book your calendar because 9:30 a.m. Pacific time or 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, they're going to have the annual shareholder meeting. So there is a notice of annual shareholder meeting that is to be held on August 3rd, 2023. And we want to talk about what is going to happen, especially with the Proposal 3. Proposal 3 says to approve the amendment of company's second amended and restated certification or certificate of incorporation to effect a reverse stock split. Now, the million-dollar question is whether Mullen will stay on NASDAQ or it will become an OTC stock. One of the reasons is Mullen needs to stay above $1 price point to be in compliance with the NASDAQ's $1 minimum bid price rule requirement. Now, if you think about what Mullen did year to date, it is down 98%. For last 1 month, however, we are up close to 25%, but we are nowhere close to $1. And there are no chances that we can go organically over $1 because it will be more or less 10x the price point from where we are. Yes, we did see the spike. We went to 32 cents from 10 cents, but from 30 cents, it was not really doable for Mullen to do another 3x. That is one of the reasons why they're proposing this reverse stock split. Now, this reverse stock split created a lot of discussion because this is an exchange ratio for 1 to 2. So starting from 1 to 2 to all the way 1 for 100 as determined by the company's board of directors. So we may hear something from Mullen the same day that they have the shareholder meeting as to what the vote looks like, because I believe they have close to 60% vote between their CEO David Michery as well as other board of directors. So close to between 55 and 60% votes are for them. So they may support the reverse stock split. So you may or may not like it, but one of the reasons that they want to do reverse stock split to stay on NASDAQ. If they don't do it, if they fall below $1 for a significant amount of time, especially with the compliance rules from NASDAQ, this will become an OTC stock. So write down in the comment section below, do you want Mullen to stay on NASDAQ, or you want Mullen, or you're okay with Mullen to be an OTC stock? Do hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out as we get closer to August 3rd, because this is going to change the game. A lot of people are talking about this reverse stock split precisely because you know what happened last time when they had 1 for 25 reverse stock split. Now, NASDAQ introduced 1 for 100 reverse stock split for Mullen, or Mullen has introduced that one to split for this updated SEC filing. Now, the company went through 1 for 25 reverse stock split in May to keep the stock price above NASDAQ's $1 price bid rule requirement. Come August, within the first week of August, if I'm not wrong and if I remember correctly, by August 8, they need to get back up and running above $1. Now think about this May, and I will show you what exactly happened in May. So if you scroll down and you start seeing the historical price, on May 4th, they had 1 for 25 reverse stock split that put the stock price above $1 price point to $1.47. Guess what happened next? Within 12 business trading sessions or business days, it fell below $1 price point. So right here, 93 cents. It did go to 104 on May 22nd, but it was closed at 95 cents. So from May 4th to May 22nd, we just saw that the stock dumped back down to $1. Now that created another round of compliance situation with NASDAQ because they need to stay above $1 price point once again. So what happened then is it was never ever able to go above $1 price point. Now you may ask me what is the reason and why it's happening. The number one reason is the short sellers. Short sellers are not letting stay Mullen alone. They're going after Mullen. Now, the manipulation, illegal practices, or whatever, that's a separate story. but the stock needs to stay above $1 price point if they want to stay on NASDAQ. So they can't really go back to NASDAQ and say, oh, there's a manipulation and illegal activities going on or the trading, and let us stay on NASDAQ. Otherwise, NASDAQ is not an investigation company. They're not going to go and investigate what's happening exactly. So with that, you can see here that the FINRA short volume based on Fintel, 57, 55, 54, so on and so forth. So every single trade, every 2 trade, you see one trade is a short selling. One stock is a short selling stock. So in other words, if you have 100 stocks traded, out of that, you can imagine 50 to 57 stocks were short sold, which is creating a lot of downtrend, particularly in MULN. So that's number 1 reason. What is the number 2 reason? Number 2 is there are a lot of concerns around MULN running out of cash and what they will do and how they will make sure that the operation stays up and running. The reason there is they're burning cash left and right, and you can see that in their financial earnings. But let's take a look right here. In Q1, they burned $114.91 million, so almost $115 million. Q4 2022, they burned their negative net income is $376.28 million. So all in all, what I'm trying to say is they're burning cash left and right. So that's the second reason. And if you want to say the third reason, which is again, it goes back to this negative net income, is they don't really have positive revenue. You don't see revenue here. Q4 2022, we did not see revenue in March 2023. We're expecting to see maybe a little over $300,000 in revenue in the current quarter when they announce their financial earnings, but that is all a concern, which is why we are seeing so much rough trading in MULN and it goes down. Just within a month, MULN stock shorted all the way back down to the current levels, to 22 cents. Now, there is a possibility that they go for 100 reverse stock split, because that is already approved by the board of directors and by the company and whatnot, right? But they may not even need to do that. The reason is, for whatever reason, if MULN goes from 12 cents to, let's say, 25 cents next week, in that case, what they'll need to do is 1 to 4 reverse stock split. If the stock goes from 12 cents to, let's say, 20 cents, what they'll need to do to go above and beyond $1 is close to 1 to 5 reverse stock split, right? If it goes to 21, 22 cents, 1 for 5 reverse stock split will be enough. But they will need to also make sure that they trade about that $1 price point for at least 10 consecutive trading sessions. And that way they can get out of this particular situation that they are in. But there is again a pretty big risk. Yes, they'll be trading above $1 price point, but they need to trade for consecutive 10 to 11 trading sessions. But after that, they cannot really go below $1 price point for a consecutive 30 trading sessions. So these are all the rules and regulations. Now remember, I am not a financial advisor, nor I'm a certified professional. So do your own due diligence. At the end of the day, we need to watch out for what is going on. Now going back to Mullen Automotive, they face the same problem as before. It'll need to issue another reverse stock split if it wants to remain on NASDAQ. So write down in the comment section below if you favor that Mullen needs to stay on NASDAQ, or if you're okay with OTC, write down OTC into the comment section below. Now, one of the thing is there are a lot of benefits of staying on NASDAQ. Number 1, you can have international investors can look into it. OTC has some of the limitations, and not every single trading platform offers trading. Now, Mullen wants more and more eyeballs and more investors. Number 2, you can also do pre-hour trading and after-hour trading that we see in Mullen. That is not super significant, but it's good to have. And the third thing is transparency and trust. When you are either on NASDAQ or NYSE, you're part of a bigger ecosystem in terms of the stock trading. And people tend to trust, and people tend to like that a lot more for obvious reasons. Now, I talked to you about Proposal 3, that is to approve the amendment of company's second amended restated reverse stock split, the ratio between 1 to 2 or 1 for 100, right? Now 1 for 100 reverse stock split will max out the ratio, which means the reverse stock split could be less than what is being proposed. 1 for 100 MULN reverse stock split would put MULN stock at the time of this article, $22.90. Now, if that happens now, you can think about like $12 to $13. Now, with that, there are some caveats because they might not want to override the maximum offered NASDAQ compliance, which is 1 for 250 within 2 years. Now, you want to verify all this information because this is all subject to change and it is based on NASDAQ's rules. Coincidentally enough, the analysts were targeting giving the MULN price point of $23 to $24 earlier this year, but that's not really the game. For the company, it would make sense to go bigger as it'll no longer be able to request 180-day extension should the share fall below $1 once again. So they are in a tough situation for sure right now. So this is one of the tough situation or elephant in the room that they will need to address. If you haven't clicked the like button, do so. Subscribe to the channel and do turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on some of the very juicy information. Number two, that can spur a lot of confidence and some of the trust is they already have announced $25 million stock buyback program. Now, I personally think that they don't have cash, so they can't really burn $25 million for the buyback program, buying back their own stock, because remember, they're not in the stock buying or selling or profiting from stock trading business. What they do is innovative technologies with electric vehicle, making super world-class vehicle that they're trying to build, and also making sure that their batteries are innovative, it can charge faster and go a long way on a full charge. However, if they can act upon what they have promised, right? They announced a $25 million buyback program. They also mentioned that the company believes that the stock is significantly undervalued and trading at a significant discount. And they have current cash position at the time of writing this article, so on July 6th. So in the beginning of July, they had $235 million. The buyback is authorized through December 31st, 2023 for $25 million. Now, it won't happen for $25 million at the same time. So what they may do is they may divide this in chunks and they start buying little by little. We're not expecting MULN to start buying these stocks back right away. But what I mean to say is if MULN can act upon what they have promised or what they have mentioned into their PR, that will build more confidence from the investment community. So you need to understand that part, and that can also once again put MULN into green because people will start talking about it and people will start believing in what MULN said. And MULN is trying to deliver what they said, but we need to see it is working for them as well. Now, another thing is they announced the pilot program. We need to see that, what is going on. But however, MULN declined right before their next shareholder meeting, as I mentioned to you, on August 3rd. On August 8th, we need to see, or at least in the first week of August, we need to see MULN stay about $1 price point. Otherwise, we'll go to OTC. Now, when you're on OTC stock, the short sellers have more power. The stock data is delayed and there are some less restrictions or less transparency in terms of the filings for a company. So those are some of the pros and cons. Another thing that you want to also remember is MULN got this Bollinger's receipt of $3 million grant from Michigan and a lot of stuff going on. But the biggest thing that people are worried about right now is the reverse stock split. Now, reverse stock split may or may not solve the problem, because if the short sellers go after MULN once again, MULN will go below $1 price point, which is kind of a scary situation that MULN has. Overall, we are seeing decline in volume, 173 million compared to the average volume of 222 million. If you think about all in all, we are staying way below 222 million, 169, 200, 168, 242, 220, 224. So for the last 1 week, we are not trading anywhere close to the average volume, and the average volume starts declining. But one thing is the short sellers are not letting it go. Regardless of what the volume is, 100 million, they still have 55% short volume FINRA ratio. 87 million, they still have 55% give or take the short volume ratio. So that's the biggest problem. But you want to also understand that this is one of the most active stocks, stock and stock tweets, and a lot of people believe in that. And this is a so-called meme stock, and we are seeing that it is there in top 10 most active stock. Right now we are at number 6 because it's weekend, and of course Shiba Inu and Dogecoin, they are leading because of the weekends, and the stocks are not trading, and naturally both Shiba Inu and Doge are again very favorite within the social community, including Bitcoin, right? So Bitcoin is 29,000. You see almost 8 cents for Dogecoin, and Shiba Inu is also trying to gain traction and became the most active cryptocurrency, at least at the moment. All in all, we want to see a lot of momentum. There are 78,000 watchers on stock tweets, one of the most active stock. I'll keep you posted. Don't forget to tune in again back tomorrow. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.